my father-in-law announced at Christmas dinner. I've decided to take a second wife, and you'll all learn to accept it. The crystal wine glass slipped from my wife Rebecca's hand and shattered against the marble floor of her parents' dining room, sending shards across the Persian rug where 17 family members had gathered for what was supposed to be a celebration. Richard Thornton stood at the head of the table, both hands pressed against the mahogany surface, his silver hair catching the light from the chandelier above as he surveyed his family with the same commanding presence he used in boardrooms. I've given this considerable thought and prayer, he continued, adjusting his silk tie that probably cost more than my monthly mortgage payment. Amber will be moving into the guest house next month, and I expect everyone in this family to treat her with the respect she deserves as my wife. Patricia, his wife of 42 years, sat frozen in her chair beside him, her face completely blank as though someone had erased all expression from it. The woman who had hosted countless charity galas and commanded rooms full of society's elite was suddenly small and silent, staring at her untouched plate of prime rib that Richard had insisted on carving himself just minutes before destroying everything. Dad, what are you talking about? James, Rebecca's older brother, pushed back from the table so hard his chair scraped against the floor. At 38, James had spent his entire adult life trying to earn Richard's approval, working 80-hour weeks at the family's commercial real estate firm to prove himself worthy of eventually taking over. You can't just take a second wife. That's not even legal. Richard smiled, but it was the smile he used when closing a deal with someone who didn't realize they were about to lose everything. I've been studying with Pastor Wayne at the Covenant of Abraham Ministry. Polygamy isn't illegal if you don't file multiple marriage licenses. It's a spiritual union, a biblical practice that the government has no authority to interfere with. He pulled out his phone and started scrolling, the blue light illuminating his face in a way that made him look almost demonic. There are thousands of families across America returning to biblical marriage structures. Men are meant to provide for multiple wives, to be fruitful and multiply as God commanded. Rebecca found her voice, though it came out strangled and high-pitched in a way I'd never heard before. Where's Amber now? Is she here? Richard gestured toward the kitchen where we could hear someone washing dishes, the sound of running water suddenly seeming obscenely normal against the backdrop of this nightmare. She's been helping prepare dinner. Amber understands her role as a helpmeet. She's been studying scripture with Pastor Wayne's wives for 6 months, learning what it means to be a godly woman in a biblical household. The kitchen door swung open, and a young woman emerged, maybe 25 at most, wearing a modest blue dress that covered her from neck to ankle. She had long blonde hair pulled back in a braid, and the kind of nervous smile someone wears when they know everyone in the room hates them, but they're pretending not to notice. Hello everyone, I'm Amber Reed, soon to be Amber Thornton. I'm so blessed to be joining this family. My 14-year-old daughter Sophie grabbed my arm under the table, her fingernails digging into my wrist hard enough to hurt. She'd been excited about this Christmas dinner, her first time sitting at the adult table instead of with the younger cousins in the kitchen. Now she was witnessing her grandfather destroy her grandmother in real time, and I could feel her whole body shaking beside me. Victoria, Rebecca's younger sister, stood up so abruptly her chair fell backward. At 31, Victoria had always been the rebellious one, the daughter who went to art school instead of business school, who lived in a small apartment downtown instead of the gated community where the rest of the family resided. This is insane. Amber, how old are you exactly? Amber's smile faltered slightly, but she recovered quickly, clasping her hands in front of her in a gesture that looked rehearsed. I'm 24. I know there's an age difference, but age is just a number when God brings two souls together. Richard has shown me what real spiritual leadership means. Patricia finally moved, reaching for her water glass with a hand that trembled so badly water sloshed over the rim. She took a small sip, then set it down with such precise control, I knew she was using every ounce of willpower to maintain composure. When she spoke, her voice was steady, but completely dead. How long has this been going on, Richard? He waved the question away, as if it was irrelevant. What he said next shocked me. To see the full story, click the link below or go on my channel.